I will call this meeting to order. The Planning Commission of the City of South Haven, regular meeting for Thursday, August 6th of 2020. Marcia, may we have a roll call, please?
Certainly. Mark Gruber,
Here.
Harry Heineck,
Here?
Todd Heinrich,
Here.
Michael Neese,
Here.
Amy Nichols,
Here.
Rosalie Flaccati, Rosalie,
We can't hear your mic, Rosalie. It says you're on, but
George
I think-
Sleeper,
here.
Janice Barney,
Here.
Tim Stegman.
And I see we have the city engineer, Mike Dopp, on with us tonight. Welcome, Mike. First item is approval of the minutes of the agenda, I'm sorry. Do I have a motion?
I can make that motion. Do we want to remove item 8 from our agenda? I am under the impression that that's been taken off, or do we still need to discuss that?
Clark, it doesn't need to be discussed anymore. I left it on the agenda solely for the purpose so we have a public record that it is stated that that was removed or the applicant has withdrawn.
Okay, so I'll just make a motion then to approve the agenda.
Support. This is Todd.
Okay, motion made and supported to approve the agenda. Is there further discussion? We will take a roll call vote.
Barney,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes.
Heineck,
Yes?
Heinrich,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Flaccati,
Yes, can you hear me now at all? Okay.
Yes, you're good.
Okay.
Sleep,
Yes.
The agenda is approved. The next item is approval of the minutes of July 9th, 2020 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 9th, 2020.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes from July 9.
who made
Is there
the
any
second,
discussion?
please?
Neese.
Sleeper,
Hearing no discussion?
Sleeper,
Oh, it's Michael Neese.
Barney,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes.
Heineck,
Yes?
Heinrich,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Flaccati,
Yes. Yes. Oh my God, can you not hear me again?
No, I heard you.
No, you're-
good.
Oh, okay.
You're still okay. Motion carries, the minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda is interested citizens in the audience will be heard on items not on tonight's agenda. I do not have that phone number in front of me. Staff, can you give us that number for people to call in?
Yes, the call-in number is 637-0777.
We will wait to accept phone calls.
We don't appear to have any callers at this time.
Thank you. Voice from the back room. The next item on the agenda is zoning ordinance amendments to section 601. Staff, would you like to brief us on this, please?
Yeah, as we discussed last month, again, this is a text amendment to remove the by special land use stipulation from section 601.16 and 601.20. And that has been requested by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation's Redevelopment Ready Communities program, as the city of South Haven is trying to become a fully certified redevelopment ready community. It is also an item that was highlighted in the adopted South Haven Master Plan of 2018. And I included in the packet a copy of the proposed changes. And if you notice in item 16, one or more dwelling units located above a permitted use is allowed by right in considering such authorization of Planning Commission to ensure conformance with the following standards of Article 15. Each dwelling unit shall have adequate means of ingress and egress, and one dwelling unit per lot is allowed above any permitted use without providing any parking spaces according to the South Haven Parking Code. Notwithstanding any other provision, the zoning ordinance in the CBD district, each additional unit requires one parking space. In any district, which is this subsection applies by cross-reference, each additional unit requires two additional parking spaces. So as you see in there, the only item that was removed from the original ordinance was when authorized as a special land use. In section 20, multiple family dwellings with one or more dwelling unit on the ground floor. In considering such authorization, the Planning Commission shall ensure conformance with the following standards of Article 15. The parcel shall not have frontage on Phoenix Street, Center Street, or Broadway rights of way, and 2 parking spaces shall be provided per dwelling unit, either on site or within 300 feet of the parcel. Again, the only thing that was removed from the original language was when authorized as a special land use. Okay.
Where are we at?
First item, item 8.
Very good.
Or item 6. Excuse me. So as you can see, those are the changes that are being proposed. Tonight is a public hearing for that. We had to reschedule it for this month because the notice that was sent out in July spoke of the first Thursday of the month, which actually we ended up having the Planning Commission on the second Thursday of the month.
Okay, I will turn the meeting over to our chairman. Tim, it's yours.
Okay, Larry, thanks for taking over. Ran over at the Waymaster for the blueberries. So you approved the minutes, right?
Yep.
And you were on number 6,
Yep.
and that's done?
Oh, no, we're ready to open the public hearing.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and do that, Larry, since you had this item, and I'll pick up on 7.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to open the public hearing on item 6.
This is Todd Heinrich. I motion that we open a public hearing for the zoning ordinance amendments.
Clark Gruber, I will second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Marcia, roll call vote, please.
McCarty,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Barney,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes.
The public hearing is open. Once again, if you would repeat that phone number, please.
Yes, for any interested citizens who wish to speak about this on the public hearing, the phone number for calling in is 637-0777.
While we're waiting on that, were there any additions or amendments to the agenda?
No, okay, no. As far as I know, it did not have
What?
at the meeting. Council,
Oh,
What we talked about.
yeah, okay.
just so you know. But we can ask.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. We'll do that under item 10.
We don't appear to have any callers at this time.
Thank you. Hearing no public comments, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
George Sleeper, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Rosalie?
Yes.
Motion made and seconded to close the public hearing. Any discussion? Marcia, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Neese,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
McCarty,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Barney,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes.
Public hearing is closed. Any further questions of staff? Any discussion or a motion? How do you wish to dispose of this item on the zoning ordinance amendments?
We would like a motion to approve so we can send it to city council to go on, that route.
George?
This is George Sleeper. I'd like to make a motion to approve the zoning amendments to Article 6, Section 601-6, or .16 and 601.20.
Clark,
Is there a second?
I will second.
Marcia, you got that? Clark Gruber was the second.
Yes,
Any
I
further
do.
discussion?
Don't you want to add to that motion a little bit? I mean, like, not to remove those sections, but the amendments, the text amendment to remove by special land use, or are you just going to put that in there? Right?
I think his intention was to amend as written.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's correct.
Any more discussion? Motion is made to amend as printed and forward to city council. Marcia, will you call the roll, please?
Heinrich,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Scotty,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Barney,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes.
Heineck,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes.
Motion carries. The next item is back to you, Tim.
Okay, thank you, Larry. So the next item is item 7, which is the clear vision corners and hedgerow concerns. Brad, do you want to kick us off with that one?
For a real simple synopsis of this, just to get us started, it was brought to the city's attention that there are many properties, which at the time was brought up in the Monroe Boulevard and North Shore Drive neighborhoods, that are in violation of Section 1712, which is the clear vision corners requirement, which requires driveways and rights of way by roadways to have a minimum of 20 feet for a driveway and 25 feet for roadways, to have clear vision for vehicles transitioning in and out for safety concerns on sidewalks and other rights of way. Also, Section 1709 directly is in concern with landscaping and plants in the city and their height requirements. And within these clear vision corners, you are allowed to plant hedges or other bushes or shrubs. However, they cannot be taller than 30 inches, basically making it easy for people to see over them, and they have to be continually maintained by the resident. I've listed 9 properties on there that have been brought to the city's attention. As I said, we've identified, through working through this all week long, dozens and dozens and dozens of properties across the city that are in violation of these 2 sections. And we understand that the city must enforce the ordinance regulations. However, if there is well over 100 people on this list and they have had these hedges up for decades, we may have an awful lot of people knocking on City Hall's door asking why we're doing this now and why we didn't do it 30 years ago. So we put this on the agenda just to see if we could possibly get some guidance of how to handle this kind of effectively across the city. You know, and I think that's kind of the situation of where it's at.
Yep.
I mean, we understand we have to, you know, do our job and carry out the regulations and the ordinances. But like I said, it seems to be that there's going to be well over 100 of these properties across the city that are in violation of this.
Okay, thank you, Brad. So basically, this is in front of the planning commission because we have two options. One is to just say, city, use what's on the books. Or two, we look at amending it because there's so many that are in violation. Now, where Brad just said there's some hedges or plants that are pretty tall and in violation, I can only say maybe the city didn't concern itself 10, 15 years ago because they were just planted. And two, I don't even know how many code enforcement people we've had in the last 2 decades. But
We only have one now,
we only have one now.
and he's part-time.
He's a part-time. But I'm saying prior to that,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
who knows, and things get lost that way. So I guess we need to know if we think we should lessen the rules that we have now, or just say, no, they're good to go, send it back to city council for affirmation to enforce.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, staff really isn't asking to request, you know, a relaxation of the rules. We just, you know, would like to kind of give some guidance on how to, well, you know, massage it so we're not, you know, setting out and saying you have to tear down your hedges to 200 people.
You
Well,
know,
I don't
can
think
I
it's
jump
tear
in
it
here?
out, but
'Cause-
Use the height.
Can I just jump in?
So, I mean, hang on a second. It's, if that's what's on the books, that's what we have to enforce, or we have to change it to comply with the non-compliance. So who was up? Rosalie?
Yeah,
that
you know,
you?
I'm the one that brought it to Brad. I'm the one that asked Brad. And you know what? I've been asking for about 2 years now about along Monroe. I gave up on the corner of Monroe and Monroe Street. Yeah, I gave up on that a long time ago. I've talked to the homeowner. He's not going to change it. He said he's grandfathered. He doesn't care. So gave up on, you know, the corners. That's an accident waiting to happen. That's fine. I've almost run into people walking my dogs with strollers and bikes. He doesn't care. I'm starting not to care, quite honestly. What I do care about is the hedges and Brad, that's what I was trying, and I didn't expect this on the agenda. The letters that you got, I did not put there. People do read the agendas. They were happy to see this on the agenda because they've been complaining too. So this was giving them license to actually get behind something that actually moved something. So y'all are going to have to deal with it. I did not mean for this to happen. What I am concerned about are these hedges that our guests cannot see when they pull out of. I can't tell you, and I don't know how many of you are walkers. I know, Clark, you're a runner on the street mostly. But I can't tell you how many times I patiently wait for a car to pull out that can't see me. Now, one day it's going to be a kid that doesn't care or doesn't hear the car pulling out. So when the cars pull out and they're, oh, I didn't see you there. So one day I asked the people that live just, let's see, that would be north of the corner house. I went up to them and I said, hey, they're having a great time. I said, welcome, it's beautiful here. I said, so, hey, when you pull out, can you see anything? And they said, oh, no. I said, is there any room to turn around to even pull out straight? And they said, oh, no. Can you back in? Oh, no, the street's too busy. Okay. So when you pull out, what do? We just pull out slow and we hope people can see us. Okay. What else do you do? Sometimes we have people stand across the street and tell us when it's safe to pull out. So all I care about really are the driveways. And I don't think it's too much to ask to have people trim their driveway so they can see before they hit somebody. I would like to think that homeowners could figure it out for themselves, but apparently they don't. Apparently the people that own these rental houses don't. Those bushes have not been there for 20 years. That house was built in the last 5 years. So I don't know. I'm sorry it showed up on this agenda that now we feel compelled. I'm also guessing, and I'm just guessing, and I don't mean this too terribly personal, that probably nothing will happen. To ask, 200 people in town to pull up their bushes, oh my God, I don't want to create that kind of trouble. We've got enough trouble. But I also just want to point out that this is what happens when our ordinances are not followed up on. And this is what happens when we have one part-time person as a compliance person or whatever you want to call them. It's great now that we've got a couple cops walking the beaches on the weekend. What a terrible waste of money and use of time for them. So I don't really care what happens here anymore. I would love to use this as an opportunity maybe to get homeowners to do the right thing. You'd think they would. You'd think they wouldn't want to hit a kid. But what y'all want to do with this, I'm going to step back and say good luck. It's really about the driveways and the safety so that somebody can see pulling out of their driveway and not hit somebody. That's the reason I was contacting Brad, because you can't walk, and Monroe is the busiest street in town other than probably North Shore Drive, which has the same thing. So, in the same way we look at some of our other safety ordinances, you want to get ahead of it. You don't want to change it after that there's a tragedy, but I guess that's just me. So thank you, Brad, for listening, at least originally. It's first time in 2 years anybody's really brought it up, but I didn't mean for it to get on an agenda. I really didn't. Thank you.
Okay, question still stands. Is it something we want to amend or just say the ordinances we have or what's intended? And I don't know if anything so much has fell through the crack from the beginning to the end, because plants have different growth rates and, 6 inches, 8 inches, 12 inches a year, depending on the plant. So a small plant put in the ground could it take 5 to 10 years to reach that 30-inch height we're talking about. And we're not talking about enforcing it to have people demolish their bushes, just to bring the height down.
Correct. Tim, if I may?
So any other comments? Oh, and before we take any more comments, just a reminder to any at-home listeners, the phone number is 637-0777. Call in and we'll get you in the queue, and the back room will let me know, and we'll get you to your comments. So anybody on the commission?
Yes, Tim, please. This is Neith.
Yeah, I'm on.
I do hear Brad's concerns, and I do see that as an execution problem. However, I think the ordinance stands as it should. There is some other variables that have happened in the last 20 years as well. The traffic pattern on Monroe has changed dramatically. The number of golf carts, the number of bicycles on the sidewalk, it's much busier than it was 20 years ago. That is and I will generously use the term, running route. And when I make that turn on that corner, Rosalie's exactly right. It's just like, okay, here we go, take a breath and hope they're not backing out. But I'm an adult. I'm worried that a child on a bicycle is not going to be that aware. And you truly can't see. But to Brad's point, I also received additional addresses. Constituents and citizens emailed me, and gave me a list of other properties they'd like to have looked at. So I'm going to suggest that the ordinance stands, but we may have to look at how we prioritize where we go after what when. But I'm really opposed to saying, geez, we let it go so it becomes common practice. That's a cancer we can't afford to start in the city.
Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, this is Todd.
Clark? Oh, Clark first, and then you, Todd.
Thank you. I concur. I can't see when the ordinance was written that safety is a lesser concern today than when it is in the ordinance, especially when it comes to trying to turn. And I'm in just even looking at less so the driveways, but just the right of way, pulling out of I think Monroe Street onto Monroe Boulevard. I mean, that hedge is 7 foot tall. So certainly it's how do we apply this and how do we apply it equally throughout the city. So I don't see any changes, and we do need to enforce, but coming up with the right plan, I think is going to be the tougher route. So that's my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Clark. Todd?
Yeah, it was interesting to review that section of the ordinance. I could looked at two other small city ordinances. It's fairly similar. It seems like something we should enforce, and I guess we should, if nothing else, just communicate that to the commission has reviewed this section of the ordinance, after hearing a lot of citizens, and we recommend or encourage the city council to allocate resources to enforce this section of the ordinance. That's all.
George?
I agree with the other commissioners. This is not going to get any easier the longer we hold off doing anything on it. So the sooner we get doing something about it, the better. I appreciate Rosalie bringing this up. And because it's related to safety, I can't really see any justification for amending the ordinance. I don't think past practice is a adequate justification for amending the ordinance. That's all I have.
I would agree. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none. There any callers? No callers. I think that commission's pretty adamant about just keeping it as is and let staff begin the enforcement.
I think we can come up with was pointed out, a system of, the more severe cases first and
Sure.
go through that route. And of course, approach people civilly without dropping you're getting a ticket hammer on them immediately.
I would imagine primary, then secondary roads. Right. Okay.
All right, thank you,
Anything
everybody.
else
Thank you very, very much.
Okay, we'll move on then. That's a non-motion item, correct?
Right.
Okay. Next up, item 8 is the 257 Park Avenue use variance review. Brad, give us a little synopsis, if you would, please.
Yes, 257 Black River Street is presently a vacant lot.
257 Park Avenue.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, we're on that one. 257 Park Avenue, excuse me, was a use variance application that was submitted to the Zoning Board of Appeals this past July. It was a Miss Petter, and what the situation was is she owned two parcels. One fronted North Shore Drive that contained 3 cottages, historical cottages on there, and she had a second lot immediately behind that property that fronted Park Avenue. She wanted to install a swimming pool and proposed to construct a principal structure or a home on site. However, due to the COVID-19 and the construction woes and all those things, it was delayed. Basically, her construction was delayed. She asked the Zoning Board of Appeals, or she had presented to the Zoning Board of Appeals, that she was going to request an 18 to 24 month stay on the requirement to establish a principal structure before the installation of an accessory structure. And there was no vote, obviously, because a use variance has to go through a Zoning Board of Appeals review first, then be passed on to Planning Commission, then back to Zoning Board of Appeals for a decision. Immediately after the day after the Zoning Board of Appeals hearing, there was a lot of public who did call in and speak. She withdrew her application for the use variance to request to install the swimming pool before the construction of the home. And I had mentioned to Clark earlier that the reason I requested leaving the item on the agenda was so that we could have just a public record that we have accepted her removal, of the application or withdrawal of the application, and that we respect that. And she's moving forward with different plans.
Anybody have any questions? Seeing none, go ahead, Rose.
I'm sorry, Tim. Just that, do we know what those other plans are and what's going to happen? Just going to wait, and what the pool is just going to hang there for a while?
No, actually the pool what she has done is combine the lots. So now it's one parcel now. So effectively it becomes a backyard, and she is allowed to install a swimming pool just like any other residential property in the city in the backyard. So that's how she has gone about it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, anybody else? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. I imagine it'll be just to acknowledge the withdrawal of the use variance.
I'll make a motion to acknowledge the withdrawal of the use variance at 257 Park Avenue.
Okay, is there support?
Support, this is Larry.
Larry, okay. It's been moved and supported. Any other discussion? Oh wait, were there any callers on this one too? I forgot to ask that, didn't I?
No callers.
No callers, okay. Seeing no further discussion, we'll do the roll call. Marcia?
Gruber,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Heath,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Licati,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Barney,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes. Motion passes. Okay, next up, item 9. 292 Black River Street Seawall Site Plan Application Review. I imagine, is this Brad, or does this go to Mike right away?
Mike's the next item.
Okay. Mike, you want to give us a heads up synopsis on this one?
Actually, I can do that.
Okay, you do that then.
Basically, this is similar to everything else that's going on the river. Zach Vandenberg from Peterson Environmental, he's the one that submitted the applications to the Harbor Commission on behalf of Randy King, who owns the property at 292 Black River Street. He is the structure that currently exists on there is falling in the river, and it needs to be fixed. And what he plans on doing is raising the seawall, installing a new seawall, raising it. He's going to keep the 5 docks that are there. However, the ones that are there are going to be removed, and new ones will be installed at the higher level. Mr. Vandenberg is on the phone line, and he can answer any questions that the commission may have.
Okay. Is that him?
That's it.
Okay. So does anybody have any questions about the project? Larry, you're usually first on these.
My only question is actually of staff. Has the Harbor Commission made their final vote on this?
Yes, they have, Larry. It was approved a couple weeks ago at Harbor Commission.
Did they have any conditions they put on it, on their approval?
I am unaware of none.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hey, I have a question. This is Todd Heinrich.
Okay, Todd?
There are no finger piers proposed on this plan. I guess the question of the applicant will finger piers be part of this design, new work?
Yeah, the existing 5 docks that are there right now are proposed to be raised and replaced in the same footprint that they are currently.
Good, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else? Okay, I think pretty simple. Unless there's any, do we have any at-large callers?
No.
No. Okay, well, I'll entertain a motion then.
This is Larry, Mr. Chairman.
George? Okay, Larry?
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the site plan for the 292 Black River Street shore protection.
George Sleeper, second.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Is there any other discussion? Okay, seeing none. Roll call, please, Marcia.
Barney,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Heath,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
McCarty,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Segman.
Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. Thanks for dialing in, Zach. We're gonna let you go now.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good day.
All right. Well, that brings us to item 10, commission member and staff comments. Anything from staff?
Ellen Avery Parks next.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
That's not on here.
That's fine.
Oh, you can think it before the amendment.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I have the amended one up pulled up right now.
So item 9A, Ellen Avery. Oh, that's right. I remember reading it now. Ellen Avery. Okay, go ahead.
That's why Mike's here.
All right.
Mike, would you like to kick off and introduce that one?
Sure, I'll go through the whole sequence of this. This started back last summer when the water started to rise. We started to see water in Ellen Avery Park. And as the water got higher, when we get the big storm events in the fall and through the winter, the water will roll right over the curb and the sidewalk in that area and just completely flood that parking lot down there. So last summer, the city had Edgewater Resources do a report to look at different options. One of the options was to place a wall or extend the existing wall along the river a foot to 2 feet. And another option was to put the wall plus a pump station. That would have been a very expensive option, maybe like $500,000. on up. So we didn't really feel like that was a reasonable thing that we could go forward with. So in February, we actually approached City Council to approve what was called a Tiger Dam. It's a water-filled, basically inflatable tube that works as a barrier. The idea was to place that basically where the sidewalk goes along the edge of the parking lot down to the river and block that area off. And then at least the wave action couldn't go over the top and into the parking lot. It wouldn't stop the water though from still coming up through the catch basin. That water would still be there, but we would prevent the wave action from coming in. We were intended to place the Tiger Dam in the spring, and then the COVID came along and kind of shut things down. The company that sold us the Tiger Dam was going to come in and help us set it up, and it never happened. And then as we got a little further along into later spring, Dunkley started to pop up as an area of concern because that area was starting to flood. And at the same time, the owners of 27 North Shore Drive and 96 Chicago, the two adjacent properties to Ellen Avery Park, requested that we put in a permanent steel wall in there instead of the temporary Tiger Dam. They agreed to pay 50% of the cost. They had talked to Compton's and about placing it, and we worked with them on a design that would be acceptable to us and them. So back in June, we presented that to City Council, and they approved to proceed with paying for half of it and the homeowners to pay for the other half of the steel sheeting. Since then, we decided to use the Tiger Dam at Dunkley, so that's on a piece of property currently to dam up that area down there, and it's been working pretty well. So now we're to the point where City Council, as a couple of the requirements was we get approval from Harbor Commission and Planning Commission before we could proceed with the project. We did take it to Harbor Commission a couple of weeks ago at their last meeting, and the project was tabled. A question came up about if we put the wall in place, is that going to have a negative effect on the neighboring property, being Piers End Cove? So we didn't have an answer at that time. So since then, we talked to Edgewater Resources, and they've been doing work in the area, and they were able to give us a report last week or a week and a half ago, stating that putting the wall in isn't going to have a negative effect. We have bigger problems than placing the wall. Basically, the high water and just the way the harbor's configured with a lot of hard surfaces, there's other things going on there, and that this wall wouldn't have an effect. So we have that in place now, and the plan is to go back to Harbor Commission at their next meeting. But we thought it was prudent to come to you sooner than later for approval of this, because we just don't want to push the project further down the road, because we'd like to get something in place, whether it's the steel wall or if we had to go a different route, we need to put something down there before we really get into the fall. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Just a reminder for anybody viewing at home to call in to 637-0777 to comment on this item. With that said, any commission question, comments?
I have one.
Okay, we'll go Rosalie. Clark, you're on deck.
Michael, just real fast again, I read about the concern that other property had. You feel that in the big picture, it's not going to be a problem for Pier Cove?
No, we're going to place riprap in front of that as well as part of the project. And I'm going to go by what Edgewater says. They're the experts on this, and they don't feel that this is going to have a negative effect.
Okay, and any motion that we make, can we make it like contingent on what Harbor Commission says as well?
Yes.
Or can we or no?
Yes.
Yes, I believe we could.
Okay, cool. All right.
Clark?
Yeah, I was looking at this. So we had a couple of options, and we ended up using the option we wanted on Dunkley, which I noticed the other day seems to be working well. I think there's a good graphic where that wave action, and I know that Edgewater had done an excellent wave action study for us a little over a year ago, where that's just going to just go beyond, I think, the construction area. So we were close, really, really, really close. So that was probably a good call by the Harbor Commission to make sure we don't exasperate the issues that they're having. With this option from Compton, that seems to be pretty well. How much higher is that going to be than the current wall there? Was that an extra 24 inches above that current wall?
Yeah, it'll be approximately 2 feet above the existing sidewalk, and it's going to run along the river side of the sidewalk through there.
Okay. And then there's something about a gate. Would we then do a replacement of that gate?
No, at this time we're gonna put the wall through there, and then we're actually gonna close the sidewalk off at the river. So we basically create a wall, the whole length from the Army Corps' wall that's wrapped around Ellen Avery Park.
Uh-huh.
We're trying to prevent any water from being able to come through with any wave action into the park area or the street and parking lot.
So that would change the harbor walk that goes along that area. Would we still be able to get
Yes.
around there onto the pier for running?
Currently, the park and the sidewalks closed already, so this is going to be the same effect that we've had the last month or so.
Okay. And I do miss running there, but I understand the project. Okay. Do we have to take that out for bid, or can we go with the solution that we worked with the local contractor?
No, we can go with this
Okay.
project as it is.
Okay. I'm good with all the work that staff had put together in this and the multiple different ways of going at this, but this seems to be an almost semi-permanent solution for not much more than the temporary Tiger solution.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, this is Todd Heinrich.
Yes, Todd.
Yeah, I was very supportive of this until about 30 seconds ago. I thought that this was the solution, and I know some other folks did, that was going to reopen the walk. There's about 100 yards of public walk there that's been closed for a long time. And I'm wondering if there's any way that we can't do a step over or something to reopen that sidewalk. Was anything like that considered, Mike?
No, we weren't looking. I'm not sure how you do that. The wall needs to be tall enough to block the water, and I think if we tried to do something like that to ramp over towards the kind of corner, I guess I'd call it, of Ellen Avery Park, we'd be up above the handrail in that area. I don't think that's really possible.
Thank you.
Mike?
Chairman, this is Larry.
I got Mike first, Larry. Larry, you'll be on deck.
I'll wait.
Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead, Larry. Go ahead, Larry. I think mine was answered.
Okay. Larry, go ahead.
There were an awful lot of proposals that were talked about in the report there, and I'm not sure that I've got everything straightened out yet. Was the hanging of some sheets on the bottom part of the existing railing, is that still part of the project? or is it only driven sheet piling?
No, that will be part of it as well. So we'll put the sheeting in as far as we can so we get to the blue handrail. And then we'll go another, I'm just guessing, I think it's around another 20 feet or so with sheeting along the bottom of the rail to block it. And then we'll have to put some type of, I think we're talking about HESCO barriers or some type of sandbags across the very end.
And then that sheeting there at the end will be removed when water levels go down and the waves are not overtopping the pier?
Yes, we could remove those. They'd be probably a bit of an eyesore.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Janice?
Yes, getting back to the question Clark was getting at, as far as that public walkway, the harbor walk, will that, when the water starts subsiding and things supposedly return to normal, will we then be able to access, or will individuals be able to access that, or is that going to be closed permanently by constructing this wall?
No, we'll be able to open the walk back up once the water goes down. I'm going to say maybe a foot or so. It's just with the height of the water currently, it's just a dangerous situation down through there.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi.
All right, Rosalie?
Sorry, as a follow-up to that then, because I was just walking north side the other day. So when you are on that walk and it's closed, it's not completely a dead end. You're going to just then, go north through Monroe Park, right? So you'll just be in between the houses. What?
Yes, currently we've got people directed to go up that walk. I can't remember off the top of my head which walk that is.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got a barricade across there directing people to go up the walk between the houses.
Okay, there's gonna be a lot of traffic through there. They might not have be used to, but yeah. And it's very, I just want to go on point too, the couple families that are putting in some dollars. That's very generous of them.
Okay, anyone else? Are there any call-ins?
You just popped in, said no callers.
No callers. All right. I'll entertain a motion.
It's George Sleeper. I make a motion to approve.
Hang on. One thing, you might want to consider adding into this motion the bit about the Harbor Commission. And then maybe we should ask staff to produce a map with the designated, what we talked about with the walking area that gets published, so everybody knows what the alternative route is.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, George, sorry to cut you off.
Oh, that's fine. So I make a motion to approve the shoreline protection plan for Ellen Avery Park pending Harbor Commission approval and communication of the alternate walking routes along the river.
Clark Gruber, I'll second that.
Okay, the motion's been moved and supported. Is there any other discussion? Seeing no hands, I'll ask Marcia to do the roll.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Barney,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes.
Heineck,
Yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Body,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes. Motion passes. Next up, we have item 10, commission member and staff comments. Any staff comments?
No.
No? Mike? Anything?
No. Nope, I'm good.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go on my screen here, and I'm gonna start. Well, actually, I'm gonna start with George. We kind of had an old business item from the last meeting. Any news on that?
So just basically on the issue with revisiting the short-term rental ordinance, I did bring that issue up to the mayor, and he is inclined to present that to the city council sometime in the fall. I didn't get an exact date, but he did indicate that we will be discussing that sometime in the fall on city council. That's all the comments I had.
Oh, okay. Mike, we'll start with you then.
Thanks to Brad. Brad, the remarks and what you give us to prepare for the meetings have been really exceptional, and I really appreciate the work you're putting in on that.
Thank you.
Okay. Amy.
Ditto what Mike said, because as the new kid on the block, it's really helpful to have all that guidance right there for me. So nice job and thank you.
Okay. Clark?
Well, first off, the meeting seems short, so I'm going to take about 30 minutes. I just wanted to say that item 10, the Allen Avery Park, I really want to put kudos out to staff and the neighbors. I think the solution that we've come up with wasn't one that we originally had. And at the end of the day, I think is going to give us more bang for the buck, and at the same time put more local dollars here. So I think it really is a great solution for something that we need right now. Running in that area all the time, it's crazy, all the water that's there. I can't even just describe it. So thank you, and that's all my comments. I took less than the 30 minutes.
That's resistance running, isn't it, Clark? Running through the water?
Running through the water. I can't run through it because the water's so tough there. So I just kind of miss the beautiful areas that we have to be in South Haven, and that's one little spot I can't get around and get out there on the walkway.
Okay. George, I know you already commented. Anything else?
Nothing else, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Larry?
No comments.
No comments. Okay. Rosalie?
I just want to thank George for following up. I really appreciate that. And thanks for being so supportive on that whole hedge thing. I thought that would just be a hot mess. And if you, I had called Cindy, or I talked to Cindy Compton, because if you buy your South Haven Monopoly game, you can buy Compton Construction for $150. So go out there and buy your South Haven Monopoly. And that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Janice?
No comment.
Okay. Todd?
Yeah, I want to thank Brad for a real good packet. And particularly, you talk about thankless jobs, the amount of work that you put into 257 Park Avenue. And then it must have been bittersweet to see that go off the agenda, because you'd really addressed everything in what was an unprecedented and probably we'll never see anything like that again situation. So even though we didn't talk about it, thanks for that. And Marcia, thank you for all your reminders and good communication. I missed a meeting a few months ago, and it just one of those things that just went right by. And I appreciate your reminders. Thank you. That's all.
Okay. What do I have? Oh. When we were talking about the Ellen Avery, it reminded me sometime back we looked at a wave action study for the harbor. And my question, and you won't be able to answer this tonight, is with new high water datum, is that study for naught? So if you can check into that. I forget who, Mike, do you remember who engineered that? The harbor study?
I believe I think Avon Marsh did that.
Okay. So maybe
Yeah.
just follow up and see what's going on with that, and if it's just not anywhere near what could be done again. Because I know we were chasing some grants on it, correct, Clark, George?
Yeah, that's what we were going after. We had to get that study. I think that was Edgewater, which some of those guys are ex-Avon Marsh that put that together. And I think that's why they were able to quickly come up with the analysis of where that is happening. But those waves come in and do exactly bounce right off and go back over to the Pier Cove. It's just that it's a little further east of that wall, but there's still a lot of action in there. And I know that anytime you put together a study and you need dollars, those are many years down the road, but that's the first part of that process.
And I was wondering with that, if the Ellen Avery, if that plan was looked at and what's being done at Ellen Avery could be part of that ultimate plan. So that's my comment on that. And then I guess this weekend's virtual Blueberry Festival. So watch on things online, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, have a happy virtual Blueberry Festival. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn until September.
I'll make a motion. This is Clark. Make a motion to adjourn until September.
Okay. Is there support?
This is Amy. I'll support.
Any other discussion? In the 2 September means no special meetings. So I like it. All right. Roll call.
McCarty,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Barney,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Heineck,
Yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Mead,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Segman,
Yes. Motion to adjourn is approved, and thanks everyone. Have a good evening, and see you when we see you. Meeting adjourned.